to completely clean up defense corruption. And since the beginning of the Russian invasion, Ukraine was in emergency mode, and they actually we're trying to buy a lot of weapons and a lot of food and clothing for the military on emergency procedure. And it was not done transparently and in a competitive manner because of the war. And now, and of course, it was the responsibility of Minister Reznikov. And right now, all these deals are coming to the surface. Now, society is asking why eggs were purchased too expensively, why uniforms were purchased from Turkey, not from Ukraine. A lot of those questions. And now, there is a new agency being set up in the Ministry for Procurement, and there is a demand to completely eradicate corruption in this ministry because it's a big defense budget, and Ukraine is a democracy, and society is pushing the president to deal with this.
Right, Olena, I was just coming to that the sacking of the defense minister comes a day after Ukrainian oligarch Kolomoisky was detained on charges of fraud and corruption. Talk to us if all these shake-ups and sacking is a part of Zelensky's larger cleanliness drive as Ukraine battles Russia in the ongoing war.
Of course, I would like to state that it's completely not connected, the situation with Kolomoisky and the departure of Reznikov. These are separate things. Right. It has been decided for Minister Reznikov to leave a long time ago, actually. And it's a gradual process. It's just now happening in the parliament this week. But yes, I can say that, of course, like I said earlier, President Zelensky, he needs to maintain his, legitimacy as the president of a country where there is public opinion, and public opinion became now less tolerant to corruption because of the war, because of how much people now are sacrificing, people now are giving lives. Now every Ukrainian has a friend or a family member who died in this war, and this is why the attitude towards the government became more critical and more demanding. So Zelensky will be now trying to make such big moves. Like, remember, before he tried to fire all leaders of the recruitment centers because they were accused of corruption and so on. So it's a natural political process happening.
Absolutely, Olena. This is also one of the biggest shake-up in Ukraine's defense establishment during the war.
Well, of course, yes, because when the war started, Minister Reznikov was responsible for the ministry. He was at that time newly appointed minister. And he played his role very well when it comes to communications, when it comes to talking to international partners. But Minister Reznikov, he was often criticized for not paying enough attention to managing his ministry. And his ministry is huge. It's very hard to manage. So it's not surprising that during the war, it's very complicated to both work externally as a communicator and also work as a manager, overseeing all these huge areas of procurement, of real estate management, of land management, because the ministry because the ministry actually owns a lot of assets, a lot of land. Ukrainian, for example, defense land is the size of Cyprus. So all that had to be managed. And during the war, apparently, the president was not happy at how it was done by Reznikov, as well as society who criticized Reznikov.
And how will the sacking of the defense minister affect the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war?
Well, I think the effect, the war is waged not by the Ministry of Defense, it's waged by their general staff, but by our commander Zaluzhny. When it comes to ministry, their role is to supply the army with everything they need. So we hope that, this new appointment will make this supply more efficient and less prone to corruption. And there are now new institutions being created, like the Anti-Corruption Council of the MOD, like the reform office of the MOD, like this procurement agency of the ministry. So all these things, they are supposed to help us win the war.
Right, Olena. Also, the dismissal of Reznikov, the erstwhile defense minister of Ukraine, it seems sudden as of now, but reports suggest that it was long anticipated. What is your assessment of this?
Yes, it's not sudden. It was long anticipated. For example, for people who watching this sector, we knew a long time ago that Reznikov is about to leave. It was decided long time ago, like I said. It was decision which was in the making for months, I would say.
Right. Right, absolutely, Olena. Thank you so much for joining us on WION and sharing your insights on this developing story. We'll, of course, be tracking this very closely here on WION.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Now, that being said, Russia appears to be deepening its defense cooperation with Iran now. Shivan has all the details. Over to you, Shivan.
Right, Him. Of course, Russia and Iran, they've been in talks ever since the Russia-Ukraine conflict had started, and the West has definitely not been very happy about it. Now, I'll just like to remind you, Moscow has received hundreds of one-way attack drones in recent times, and now Iran's Air Force has received a batch of advanced Russian combat trainer aircraft. So the deal that was once from Iran's side towards Russia, now Russia seems to be returning that favor to Iran. And the arrival of these Yak-130 jets is likely a precursor to Russian Su-35 flanker